and subscribe.
Fight fans, welcome, and what a brilliant guest today I've got with me. Cork Island's own middleweight boxer, Gary Spike O'Sullivan. Gary, how are you doing?
Very good, Darren. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. It's fantastic to get you on.
Cheers. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Right, we'll start this interview then with basically a simple question. How old was you when you started boxing?
Started boxing at the age of 5. You're a very young kid. My father boxed, and he just kind of started to coach me at home. I'm actually kind of currently doing it with my kids, even though I don't want them to box, but just giving them a couple of boxing lessons at the minute. But they're a bit older. They're 13 and 8. But I don't want them to box. They always ask me to box, but I don't want them to. But I mean, my dad wanted me to box, and I started boxing when I was 5.
Yeah, okay. Well, in this interview, I'm going to find out a lot about like your boxing career, your life with boxing, and looking at your career, you've had 37 fights, 31 wins, 21 KOs in them wins. You've been in with the likes of Munguia, Lara, Lemieux, Billy Joe Saunders, Chris Eubank Jr. Brilliant names. You must be really, really proud of the career you've had in boxing.
Yeah, I've had a pretty good career. I lost all them blokes you mentioned, though. They're good, though.
Sorry, I've had to do that. Those are obviously the big names on your record. I've had to mention those, but yeah, good point. What's your favourite fight you'd say you've ever had in your career so far?
I would say the Antoine Douglas one in Quebec over in Canada. The reason being was because it was kind of brought in as an opponent to get beat, and I upset the odds and, secured a contract to go and buy promotions and put me in a position to buy a house for my family. So that was my favourite one for that reason, really,
Yeah. Well,
I had a fight as well, which I look back and I liked, was a guy called Anthony Fitzgerald, knocked him out for knockout of the year on Sky Sports in 2014, and that was a really grudge match, a proper, like, legit, like, there was no bullshit. It was like we fucking hated each other, and
yeah,
I really wanted to kill the fucker, we were fighting, and I did that night. But he was a very good opponent. He's a very good fighter himself, actually, and I think he competed in distance with Andy Lee, who was world champion, and Hassan Adam, the guy that beat Andy Lee as well in the Olympics. So he's a very good fighter, and I sparred with him a couple of times prior to that as well, and I knew he was a very good fighter. So I enjoyed that fight, and it was in his hometown fighting as well, as kind of a big rivalry between our cities. I'm from Cork and he's from Dublin, and I think in my time anyway, it was definitely the biggest fight in Irish kind of history in terms of public interest,
Yeah. Well, looking at them opponents I mentioned there, obviously for us in England here, like Chris Eubank Jr. I remember the build up to that fight. And I'm going to ask you about this. I remember the head to head. When you give Chris Eubank a kiss. Was that actually planned by you, or did you just off the cuff?
It was off the cuff. I remember we'd done the Gloves Are Off in the Sky Sports studio, and he got the better of me. And, in the conversation, he's an articulate guy. He's an educated guy. He was good. He was good at it, and he got the better of me psychologically, and he kind of got the edge from that. And I felt as though I had to get him back, like kind of take back the edge, I guess. So I gave him a kiss. I remember we'd several press conferences for that fight, and I remember mentioning that one or two of me. Like, no way was he squaring off because he'd seen me kiss a bloke before. It was actually the bloke I was talking about that I fucking hated, Anthony Fitzgerald. It was him. I kissed him before that. Back, I think it was the year before I fought Eubank. Actually, that's what it was. Yeah, I've actually, funnily enough, become good friends with Anthony Fitzgerald now these days, and his son is a young amateur boxer now, and I kind of encourage him and that. And I text with Anthony actually most weeks now. It's funny how time goes. bike. But I remember actually the Sky Sports commentary on the fight. They were saying like that the beef didn't seem real or some shit like that at the weigh-in. They had no idea what they were speaking about really because I fucking oh jeez, we really hated each other, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
But Fitzgerald, I'm not sorry, I forgot what I was talking about. Quite tired of it, had a long day, but Eubank, he'd said at a couple of press conferences prior to that he wasn't going to square off, right? Because he'd seen me kiss a bloke because he was afraid of getting kissed. So I thought, what better way to get him? It really pissed him off, like so bad.
yeah,
Because he gave me quite a good hiding in the fight, bust my eardrum, and beat the fuck out of me, really, to be quite honest. And even after the fight was over, in the ring, he said to me, "You know what?" He said, "You're gonna apologize for that kiss."
really, he actually asked you that in the
Yeah,
ring
yeah,
after.
yeah.
No,
It
fair
fucking
play.
drove him fucking mad. He still got me blocked on Twitter to this day as well.
Yeah. Well, the entertainment, the build up to the fight was absolutely fantastic. I remember watching all that. I mean, I was going to actually come to remembering that fight. He actually perforated your eardrum, didn't he? And you retired at the end of the seventh round. When
Yeah.
you look back on that fight, I know it was a long time ago now, but when you look on that fight, do you ever look at it back that preparations didn't go quite as well? Was there anything you'd have done differently or anything like that?
No, not really. I'm kind of just I don't like the bullshit about it really. I got beat by the better man in the night. It's quite a big bloke actually as well, and no preparations went well. I trained hard for it, trained very hard for it. And, like unfortunately, I got my perforated eardrum. But that happens in boxing, and I kept going and try to do the best I could, and my balance was kind of knackered, and he was landing a lot of shots on me, and my coach pulled me out, and I believe he made the right decision. I would have continued on, but I think my coach made the right decision that night, and unfortunately, Nick Blackwell, was his very next fight, and look what
Right.
happened to him. So,
Yeah, yeah,
Eubank's a vicious bastard, he's a vicious motherfucker.
yeah. Well, that's a fair call. That is. I mean, just staying on the Eubank subject, the talk lately is that he will be fighting Conor Ben. You're in final negotiations. Do you have an opinion on who you think would win that fight? I mean, they're talking that it's going to be at 160 with a rehydration clause to 170. Do you have an opinion on who you think would win that fight?
I think Eubank will kind of bust him up, like, to be quite honest. I don't think Conor Ben is that good, to be honest. I think Eubank's a bit of a different level to him, I think, you
Yeah,
know. I think he's a bigger man as well. Like, he's a big bloke. I think Conor Ben, I think he fucking might even be smaller than me because I remember when I was fighting Eubank, Conor Ben came in the dressing room to wish me luck, and then I remember thinking he was quite a small bloke.
yeah,
Eubank's quite good. He got a good reach as well. I remember Billy Joe Saunders telling me that prior to fighting, he said he's got a long reach, a lot longer than deceiving reach. He can get you from further back than you think.
yeah.
So I think Conor Ben. I think he's a bit of a hype job, you know.
No, that's a fair comment. I mean, Eubank's IBO world champion. It's not officially recognised as a world title as such. There was talk about Eubank fighting a former opponent of yours, which we'll come on to in a bit, Erislandi Lara. Do you think Chris Eubank can win world titles?
I think he'd have a good chance against Lara. He's big. He's bigger than Lara and younger. Less probably wear and tear on the clock. And I think if Eubank still has it, like if he was able to fight like he fought against me, I think he could very well put it on Lara. Have a bit too much of a work rate. Lara's a better boxer. I think Lara, arguably the best boxer I've been in the ring. Maybe him or Billy Joe Saunders are great southpaw fighters, which are they're very difficult to deal with. And I think Eubank would have a better engine definitely, and he's bigger. Probably stronger
Yeah.
than Lara. You know,
Mm.
I think I'd be it'd be a tough fight to call. Like nearly, if I had to put my house in it, I
Mm.
I'd nearly say Eubank might beat him. maybe.
Okay,
I think
so,
Lara's a better boxer, definitely. I think Eubank's stronger, probably hits a bit harder.
hmm,
And he's definitely kind of, obviously, he's got a better engine, you'd imagine. He's younger and, he's been around less than the time. And I think he might be able to beat him, yeah.
that's great analysis, fantastic stuff. Well, your world title opportunity came on the 28th of May 2022, which was against Lara. That was actually the undercard of Gervonta Davis, Rolando Romero.
Mm-hmm.
In that fight, I remember watching that fight. For me, you was starting to grow into that fight a little bit as the fight went on. You got caught at the end of the 7th round. The ref stopped it in round 8. Looking back at that fight, do you have any regrets about how you approached the fight or any of your tactics or anything like that?
No, I just think he was simply too good for me, too good of a boxer.
Fair comment.
And I never really liked southpaws, to tell the truth. I remember after I fought Billy Joe Saunders, it's not only the fight itself, it's the preparation. When you're preparing for these fights, you're sparring with southpaws day in, day out in the gym, it's a fucking nightmare. I hated it. I hated those camps. And I think for Lara as well was I got a call. I actually felt as though I felt better in sparring for that fight, actually, even though I hadn't fought against Southpaw for fucking years, but years and years since Billy Joe back in 2013, almost 10 years between the fights. Jesus Christ, fucking I'm tired. I fucking gone off.
That's right. That's right.
No, I've no regrets about it. I trained so fucking hard, so hard. I really bust my butt after that fight, like so much. Like I trained my fucking heart out. I gave it my best. I remember getting a call. I was at an amusements with my children. They were playing in this place called Airtastic, and it was a day short of 6 weeks at the fight. Just a day less than 6 weeks. My coach rang me up. He said, "Spike, will you fight for the world title?" I said, "Fucking sure, of course I will." And he said, "There's one thing about it." He goes, "It's against Southpaw." I can't.
The sound went.
Oh yeah, sorry, your sound went. Yeah.
Can you
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So where did you lose me?
You were saying about your preparations for the Lara fight.
Yeah. My preparations, there's no excuse. I trained like so fucking hard, like really, really hard. I remember getting my rest and heart rate down to like 41, and it's extremely fit. I bust my bollocks training, like fucking train like never before. I thought, I could become world champion, and then I gave it my best shot. He was too good for me, and his southpaw as well. Technically too good. He's like, super supreme boxer, and even Canelo says he gave him one of his hardest fights in his career.
Yeah.
I remember getting the call for the fight. It was a day short of 6 weeks. My trainer rang me up and asked me would I fight for the world title. I said sure. He said there's only one thing. It's against a southpaw again. He said, I know you said you'd never fight a southpaw again unless it's for a world title. It's for the world title, but geez, I would have fought Tyson Fury for the world title. Like, I would just, it was always my dream to be world champion, and I worked as hard as I could and gave it the best I had. It wasn't good enough.
No, that's brilliant. That's fair comment. Hats off to you for just being honest like that. I mean, as it stands now, you're nearly a year out the ring. Your last fight was on the 17th of March last year. What does the future hold for Gary Spike O'Sullivan as regards boxing career?
Yeah, well, the last fight actually was like the first kind of actually really good. I've never been a world champion of any sort. There's no world champion, no top world titles at all. Like a Eubank had the IBO, Billy Joe WBO, Monkey WBO, Lara, God knows how many he had. But the last bloke, I felt as though I could have beaten him. Look, I don't want to make any excuses. And, there was a lot of stuff going on in that particular fight. A lot of really, really bad stuff, to be honest. I don't want to make excuses on that, but I'd like to fight that bloke again. I think I can beat him.
Okay.
So, he gave me a bit of beating on the night. I was fucked. I couldn't fight at all. I had a bad injury, actually. It was one of the things. There was actually a couple of things for that fight. One was a bad injury, like really bad. And I shouldn't have fought. My trainer tried to get me to pull out. The reason I didn't pull out was because I thought as though if I pulled out, I would have, by the time I would have fought then, it would have been over 2 years I'd been on the ring. Because actually, what happened when I fought Lara in May, later on that month in 2022, on the 23rd of December, I broke my ankle. That put me out for a year.
Yeah.
Then when I got back, if I didn't fight that French bloke that beat me in my last fight, I would have been running 2 years, and I thought my career would be over.
Yeah.
So I went into that fight fucking man, broken ribs, like
Yeah.
I shouldn't have, and there was so much fucking shit thing going on outside the ring as well. And my coach told me put all the fight, but I argued with him, and eventually he let me fight. I shouldn't have fought. Hindsight's a great thing.
Yeah. True.
I don't really regret it though. I don't fucking regret it. I'm glad, because I think if I had been out of the ring for 2 years and I was going to turn 40, maybe they wouldn't let me fight again. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I fought. I kept in shape. I keep a bit in shape, and I tip away. I keep fit, and I've done a bit of sparring actually since then. I felt I feel good. So I want to get back in the ring, and I'm not going to go like that to lose that blow. No disrespect to him, but
yeah,
he's a nice guy, very nice guy. But I think I could beat him.
That's great. That'd be really interesting to see now. Like, if you rematch him, to see how you get on, and that obviously with the troubles you had going into that fight. Final question, really now. In between your boxing then now, what have you been doing in life? Just keeping busy, keeping in shape?
Yeah, I like to keep fit. I think I will keep fit for all my life, really. My dad was a soldier in the army, and he always kept fit. And then I look at him, the way he kept fit, and I kind of think I'm going to be like that too myself. And I just like to keep fit because my kids they love sport, and I like to play with them all the time. We play football in the garden every day. And, I just aspiration in my head, and just my son is 8 now because he loves to play football. So when he's 18, in 10 years' time, I'll be 50.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to play five-a-side competitively with him. I don't want to be like, a dad with a big fucking pot belly, flying around the road. I want to be like competitive with him, and stick it to him a bit, like have a bit of pace and be able to play proper game of football with him. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I do a bit of coaching with the football team as well, with his team.
Okay.
Just what I do is a bit of writing now as well for the Irish Examiner newspaper here in Ireland, and on all the big fights, and I just do the school runs, cook dinners, and I'm living a good life. I feel very happy with the life I'm living. I'm kind of like a stay-at-home dad. So I play sports with my kids, bring them to school, make their dinners, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm living the dream, my dream. I'm living that for me.
I tell you what, you deserve it. I know you're going to carry on with your boxing, but so far you've entertained us, whether it be in the ring, in the build-up to fights. You've always been a very, very entertaining character in the boxing world, and very, very entertaining in the ring. I mean, just want to speak to you as well. Your Munguia fight, would you say that's one of your most entertaining fights you've had?
Yeah, I guess it was really, because he was like, it was a big arena. I think like about, I don't know, it was 64,000 seat stadium in Texas, Alamo Dome. He's just in the border of Mexico, in San Antonio, and I think it was formerly owned by Mexico. And actually, it was a great story about a war there, and the Irish people helping out the Mexicans fight, that great history there. But he's a good fighter. He's a big guy too, very big.
Yeah.
I nearly took him, nearly knocked him out as well. Like I hurt Eubank as well. I got a good punch.
Yeah.
He fucking, you know what though? My hip was really ruined after that fight. He punched my hip off, like bad.
Munguia?
Yeah, he kept on hitting me low.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll tell you a funny one.
Yeah.
After that fight, so I went to my doctor. I was like, fucking hell, man, my hip is like bad, He said, on this fight, he said, you're going to have to take it easy with that for a while. It's going to take a little while for that to recover, my hip flexor. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, sure, fucking sure I will. I feel like Iron Man, like, so I'm like, fucking, yeah, what does the doctor know? So I go play football with my mates on an Astro. Never happens. We got quite good with coordination. I'm always fucking running, like, running and sprinting and all whatnot, playing football. Anyway, I go to take off running. When I just went to take off sprinting, my fucking hip flexor just like went.
Really?
Yeah, and
No.
I just fucking fell like onto my chest. As I fucking hell, the doctor was right. It was bad. He fucking right. He smashed my hip
Yeah.
flexor. I was badly, like, proper smashed up, bruised. I don't know, was it a tactic or what? Because he never hit me in the bollocks. It was always in the fucking head, But they
Well,
were like, they were proper fucking hooks, like proper fucking like swinging them in left hooks into the right hip. Fucking bastard.
he does look I mean, obviously he's fought Canelo in that sense. He looks a horrible opponent to be in the ring with Munguia. Like I said earlier, some of your opponents you've been in the ring with, to have those guys on your record is just, like you say, living the dream.
Yeah, you know what? I actually always thought himself and Eubank would be a very good fight.
Yeah.
I think they're two like come forward, aggressive fighters, good fighters.
Yeah.
I think it'd make for a great fight between those lads.
Yeah, I'd agree with.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. I mean, that division alone, like not even like here in England, like with domestically, like worldwide, it's always been a cracking division, hasn't it? Really.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think for me, maybe I'm biased, but I think it's about the best division because got a mixture of both power and speed, whereas smaller guys they don't have the power that much, I guess, as the middleweight. And the heavyweights, they don't have the speed, but they got the power. But in between the middleweight and both the speed and the power, I think probably all in all, maybe the best item.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. It's a fair point. I can see where you're coming from.
I'm probably biased. I'm probably biased because it's middleweight.
There's nothing wrong with biasness. It's your division. That's perfectly fine. Gary, it's been absolutely fascinating talking to you, finding out about you, how your boxing began, the fights you've had, what you're doing now, whether you're carrying on with your career. We've got all the answers. I've got all the answers I've needed from you. Honestly, it's been fantastic talking to you, Gary. I really, really appreciate you coming on.
Cheers, Aaron. Thanks for having me on, and the best of luck with your podcast. I hope you get a few more guests, and you're good conversations anyway, and good interviews.
I appreciate that, Mark. Thanks for all the support as well, and I'll certainly do my best to get as many good guests on like yourself. Let's see what we can do in the future, but I'll see the outro out now. And once again, Gary, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I should give myself a little shout out. I'm coming to you again in June, the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. I think we're going to work with superstar speakers, myself and Steve Collins, and
okay,
we're going to be touring in Nottingham, Manchester,
brilliant,
Leicester, and there's 4 places. It's on the
Birmingham.
Website. Not sure. It's on Superstar Speakers anyway.
Okay.
On the website, and they got like a roster. So June 11th, 13th to 14th.
Okay, well that's a great shout out. Everyone check that out. And I'll be sharing this obviously on social media anyway. And if you retweet, you get the word out there for that show. That'll be brilliant, mate.
Yeah, 100% done.
Cheers, Gary. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Okay. Cheers. Bye. Bye.